How's it going, everybody? Welcome. This is a GT Champions GTC4 broadcast. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this race was ran last Saturday, or this past Saturday, and we're just doing a replay broadcast for all you amazing race fans out there today because the streamer is also competing in the division. So we're doing things like we did much like we did last year with your host Ghost. And we'll be running the races on the Saturdays, and then we'll be doing the broadcast for you guys a couple of days later throughout the whole season for GTC4 division. So, this race, ladies and gentlemen, was done at Brands Hatch over in the United Kingdom. And we have one of the graphics ain't right here. We're running the Audi TT Cup Car 2016 version, GR4 version. We have to use racing soft and racing medium tires during this race. So much like last season, ladies and gentlemen, we have the two mandatory tire compounds that are required for all the drivers to use throughout the race. And fuel consumption and tire wear is both at 2 times today. So the pit window, much like last season, again, ladies and gentlemen, is from the 50-minute remaining to 40-minute remaining window. The drivers will have a 10-minute window to make their stop, get their other set of tires, refuel their cars, fix any damage if necessary, and they will have to be out of the pits at or before 39 minutes and 59 seconds left in the race. If the drivers do not follow this mandate, then they will be assessed, of course, a penalty by the stewarding staff here at GT Champions. So as we can see here, our starting grid for today's race. Now, everything's the same as last year when it comes down to all this stuff, but because this is the first race of the season, the drivers are actually going to be put on the grid based off of their qualifying times from last weekend. So, with that being said, we'll run down the order here for you guys today. So we have in starting pole position is Devin Calypso from Germany. Is that a German flag? It might be a Belgian flag. I apologize if I got that wrong. And then we have OGR Toolshed from Australia starting in second. We have Average Viper starting in third from the United Kingdom. We have Peteca coming all the way from Mexico starting in fourth place. We have Spider Team 1 from the United States. We have RR Ghost 45 from Canada, Astro Pancake starting in 7th place from the United States. PPR Skunk was unable to make this race, so Formula One took his position on 8th place, also from the States. And we have BA Dubs, also from the States, will be starting in 9th today. We have Walk Motorsports, which will be starting in 10th from Australia. We have Strangman 50CA coming from Canada as well, starting in 11th. We'll have Philly Jet starting in 12th from the United States. Icer Benjo, unfortunately, was unable to make this race himself either due to personal reasons, but he is one of the drivers from Australia as well. So Marchie Boy will assume his position and starting on the grid on 13th, also from Australia. And rounding out our field today, ladies and gentlemen, is Noab from Canada, starting in 14th position. So we have a 14 car grid today, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be an absolute fantastic race with that many drivers on track, and we are 100% excited to bring this to you today. So again, you ladies and gentlemen, this is a rebroadcast, so we don't quite have all the same spectating options that we would if we were doing this live, but we do have the option of the replay, which allows us to go back as far as we want, whenever we want. So essentially, we kind of don't really want to miss any of the action when we do these replays, so we should be able to pick up on a few extra incidents on track as long as we catch them. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this underway. Preach goes. Oh, we have some fans up in the chat today. How's everybody doing? Astro going woohoo. Juan going let's go. Formula One will come stronger next week. Icer, Preach Ghost. Welcome everybody. All right, so we are going to get this underway. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, these are family-friendly broadcasts. This series is presented by Detailing Group DG. They are the main sponsors for the series. And we also have Metropolis as one of the sponsors. We have Hypre Picteca as one of the sponsors who do all the amazing graphics here that you guys are seeing on stream today. And Pride of the Dragon, which is a really awesome event. If I remember throughout the broadcast, we will absolutely talk about that a little bit more as well. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's kick this bad boy off. All right. So the drivers are sitting on the grid. The lights are now red. We can hear the cars starting to rev up, ladies and gentlemen. It's a sign that it is almost time to race. So we are going to stick in the front of the pack here. And the drivers are off, ladies and gentlemen. Round 1 at Brands Hatch, Season 3, GT Champions World Cup is underway as Devin Calypso and Average Viper going side by side coming into Paddock Hill Bend here. And we got a lot of cars going there. We have one guy off, two guys off in the back of the pack here. We are going to stick in the front just for a minute. The Spider team is now thinking about trying to go outside on Calypso. And Average Viper now jumping into the lead of the race. Spider team did take a quick look on Devin on the inside there, but settles into his position. We have Toolshed in 4th. We got Pancake in 5th. We got Walk Motorsports. We got Ghost and Stangman off the track in the back of the pack. Ghost having a rough start of the race here. He started in 6th. And well on his way as, oh, he spins in the corner here as well. Can he keep it together? Oh, and he is just dropping positions, ladies and gentlemen. Really bad start for RR Ghost here tonight. Really unfortunate to see. We'll have to see how he does throughout the race here as he is side by side with the 13th place driver Noam right now from Canada. So let's get back at the front here as we have Average Viper still in the lead. Devin Calypso in 2nd, Spider Team and Toolshed all rounding out the top group here at the moment in the first lap of the race. As the drivers are coming, I believe, oh, what is the name of this corner? Ooh, they're all on the tip of my tongue. I kind of somewhat know the corners on this racetrack, so hopefully they come to me as this broadcast progresses here. So Viper in 1st, we have Calypso in 2nd, we've got Spider Team 1 in 3rd, we've got Toolshed in 4th, Pancake sitting in 5th, Walk Motorsports in 6th, Formula 1 in 7th, and Dub sitting in 8th. And then there's a little bit of a space to the next group, which is Philly Jet sitting in 9th. We have, oh, Walk's now just trying to make a move on Philly Jet here. He is going to have the inside of Paddock Hill Bend. A little bit of contact between the two drivers. Everybody's good and safe. A little bit of Rubbins racing, ladies and gentlemen, as Marchie Boy, pardon me, not Walk, does get the move done, but Philly Jet going to answer back with the inside here on the hairpin. So Philly getting the move back done, but now Marchie Boy, ooh, he almost could have held that inside line there as he is chasing Philly down. We'll just stick with this just for another second here as we come through Xerxes here. Is he going to try and go inside on Jet here? He does, but that is going to put him on the outside coming into this very fast, long, sweeping right-handed corner as we come up the straightaway here. We're just trying to keep our eye on the radar here. There's all kinds of little battles going on track. Oh, Marchie Boy does try to go inside on Philly Jet here. We are going to stick with this just for a little bit longer, ladies and gentlemen, as this is a battle for 9th place. As we can see Picteca now coming up in behind this guy, in behind this battle. That is one thing, ladies and gentlemen. The racers, ooh, Marchie Boy going really, really wide right there. He is going to have some absolutely greasy tires coming around that corner. He does a really good job of keeping it on the corner. Picteca just settling in behind there. He didn't take advantage of that mistake. Maybe he just wasn't quite close enough. We're not sure. Philly is just holding Marchie Boy off here in 9th place. We are going to get back through the field here as we have Noam in 13th and Ghost starting on the grid in 6th place all the way to the back of the field here, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll have to see how he responds to that really rough start to the race here. So we have Average Viper in 1st still and Spider Team now in 2nd place. So Spider getting around Devin Calypso there. And very, very tight quarters between Average Viper and Spider Team 1 here right now as they are coming around on lap 3 here today. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, this is a 90-minute endurance race. These drivers have a very, very long race ahead of them here. So I would suspect that we will start seeing everybody kind of starting to settle in and starting just to come up with their strategies. Try to just maintain the pace with the group in front of them. Try to save a little bit on their tires. Try to save a little bit on their fuel. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very long race. There is definitely strategy that comes with these races. So we do have Devin Clipso and Toolshed here. And teammates, obviously, due to the very similar liveries here. So a little bit interesting here. We'll have to see if these two decide to work together here to push the issue up on first and second, as Toolshed just decides, no, I think I'm a little bit faster than you. I'm gonna take that move on the inside here. So Toolshed is gonna try and go inside, going through Paddock Hill Bend here on his teammate Calypso, and quite easily gets that move done. Probably a little bit of teamwork there, a little bit of communication to make that move nice, clean, and tidy, so these guys don't lose any extra time to the first and second place drivers. So we'll have to keep our eye on those two here as we progress through the field to see if teamwork comes in the factor of this race. As I just saw Spider Team look like he just dipped inside on Viper here as we were watching Calypso and his teammate Toolshed there. So let's just stick with the leader here for a moment. And we have a whole bunch of groups of cars here. There's separation between quite a few of the cars already very early on in this race as you look up in the top right-hand corner of the screen there. So, pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. So, Spider Team not really forcing the issue on Viper right now, but definitely keeping the pressure on Viper. Maybe hoping he's going to make a mistake and he can just get that easy pass. Settle in, save a little bit of fuel, try to save your tires a little bit. Lots of things going through the race car drivers' minds as they're traveling through these long races. And Brands Hatch is it's a fun race course. It's totally old school. There isn't a ton of room on this racetrack to be racing side by side around the corners here, so you really do need to pick your spots and your battles on this racetrack. You need to know when to be patient and just sitting behind, and you need to know when the right time to make a move on this racetrack is. It is very, very unforgiving, as we can see as the cars go around here. There is a whole lot of grass around everywhere on this racetrack and some sand traps in spots where it's what would you call a high incident area over years and years of racing here. They put these sand traps in to slow the cars down so they don't go full bore into these walls. So we're going to go through the field here now, as we have Walk Motorsports sitting in 5th place here with that beautiful Australian flag sitting right there, ladies and gentlemen. We have Astro Pancake here as well. Nice shiny livery there. We have, whoa, we got Dubs going really wide coming into Search Seas there. Maybe a little bit too speed. Let's go take a little peek at what happened there. So he gets a good run out of the corner there, as he's going to try and maybe put a little bit of pressure on Formula One, and he just goes a little bit wide into Search Seas there. And ladies and gentlemen, when you hear a racetrack announcer say that a driver is just, as Philly Jet and Marchie Boy and Picteca and Stangman are all coming up on the back of him here now. So that was a very costly mistake. He lost two positions already on the mistake at Cersei's here, and Picteca now looking to take a move on Dubs as well. So Picteca looking on the inside here. Is Picteca going to be able to get Dubs on the inside here as we come in around... Oh, I cannot remember my corners today. So Dubs does manage to hold Picteca off for the time being, but as you can see here, we got a nice little 6-car cluster. As we see Ghost coming up on the back of this pack here now as well. So Ghost getting around Noam at some point during the first few laps here, and looking like he's going to try and make some ground up after a really rough start here in the race. So we're going to stick with the back of this pack just for a second, as we do have a big cluster, and Ghost was thinking about looking on the outside going through Paddock Hill Bend there, but actually really no need to do so there, as Stangman goes off the track. So nice easy pass for Ghost, moving up into 12th place there. And we're going to just kind of try to keep our eye on this little mini battle we got going up in the back end of the field here. So just come and check on what's going on up front with our leader here. We have Viper and Spider Team still very, very close behind. 2/3 of a second tops behind average Viper here right now. So both these drivers on a very, very similar pace. And at the moment, Spider Team essentially with the advantage here because average Viper's car is doing all the work. He's punching the hole in there and he's pulling Spider Team along with him. So Spider Team's able just to sit back behind him there and just kind of chill and take it easy right now. However, driving these cars in dirty air is a very difficult task, ladies and gentlemen. It does affect the braking and the aerodynamics on these cars. And the Group 4 cars don't really heavily rely on the aerodynamics, say, as much as the GR3 cars would. But still do factor in a little bit. But definitely factors in on the braking when you're coming into a corner, being stuck in behind another car, or what we like to say is dirty air, that will sometimes make you shoot a corner really wide. Sometimes you go too deep, even go off track if you're not careful. You do need to brake just slightly earlier than you normally would when you are traveling behind another car in close proximity. 10-15 meters earlier is usually enough for you to stay on your line and kind of keep your dealio around the corner. So we have Toolshed here in third place, starting to pull a little bit away from his teammate Calypso here. As you can see, the gap starting to spread between third and fourth, and then there's a fairly large gap from fourth to fifth where Walk Motorsport and Astro Pancake are starting to battle here, as Astro is going to look inside coming through this really fast sweeper here. And it looked like Walk just kind of backed out of that a little bit, being stuck on the outside. Just let him go by. Nice safe play there. Probably a smart call by Motorsports here to just to kind of allow him to go through there. And not really try to go too wide through that long sweeping right-hander. It is very, very difficult, ladies and gentlemen, to hold the outside line into that corner. So we're coming to the back of the pack here. We have Marchie Boy, Dubs, Ghost, and Picteca all battling here. As Ghost has managed to get around Picteca and Dubs and is now starting to put the pressure on Marchie Boy here. So interesting little battle we have going on in the mid-pack here, as we have 4 cars extremely close together right now. So we'll have to kind of keep our eye on this as it progresses. And we have Formula 1 just not too far off in the background here as well. So juicy little mid-pack battle here. That's what we like to see. We like to see all these little battles going all over the racetrack, ladies and gentlemen. And Marchie Boy doing a really good job at just trying to pull away from the rest of the pack there, as Ghost is trying to do the same thing from Dubs. And Dubs also trying to do the same thing from Picteca behind him. So we do have Formula 1 sitting in 10th. We've got Astro Pancake now sitting in 11th. What happened to Pancake? He was up in 5th place. So some form of incident happening there while we were watching the battle in the mid-pack. We missed something juicy in the front pack. Isn't that the way it always goes? So we have average Viper here, and now we have Toolshed sitting in 2nd place. Where did Spider Team go? Spider Team has fallen down into 5th. Let's see if we can see where that all went down here. All right, so Spider Team's in 2nd here at this point. And Toolshed coming in really, really fast and hot. I'm not really sure what happened there. Something had definitely happened there. He just kind of... Something is definitely going on. Maybe he's having a technical issue with his rig right now. That's almost kind of what it looks like is happening. Just based off the way the car is driving. And the car is not ghosting right now. So, really good job by the rest of the drivers to not make contact with him, as he was kind of just rolling around on the track there. So hopefully everything's okay there. It looks like whatever the issue is the Spider Team had here. Ooh, little bit juicy in the corner there. The Xerxes a little hard on the brakes. Almost lost the car. Had to take the dirt on the inside there. Pardon me, chat. So, really unfortunate incident there. Hopefully everything's okay. We'll have to see how that progresses throughout the race, as we have Ghost sitting here in 6th place, 7th place now behind Marchie Boy. And Marchie Boy is starting to pull away from Ghost here a little bit. So all these drivers starting to space out from each other here a little bit now as the race is starting to settle in. We're roughly about 13 minutes into this race at the moment. And I'm not sure what happened to poor Astro there, but definitely falling back quite a few positions into the field here. So we'll have to see if he can regain. And we have a driver in the pits here. So Noam is in the pits here. So you can see the crew's not doing any tires or anything like that. So he must be fixing some damage on track. So hopefully everything's okay for Noam there. Has maybe a little bit of an incident. A lot of these drivers are new to the GT Champions World Cup Series this season. So maybe a little bit of early race nerves, a little bit of jitters going on perhaps from some of these drivers. It's going to be really interesting to see how the newer drivers to the series handle the 90-minute duration, how they handle their fuel, how they handle their tires. It's going to be interesting to see the way the strategies play out here in the race today. As Devin's sitting here in third place, we have a little bit of distance between first to second and second to third now. Nothing too major, but a gap nonetheless. Each driver kind of out of each other's slipstream there. So Motorsport's looking really good here in fourth place. Spider team now kind of on the chase here, trying to regain on the four drivers in front, as he had some form of what looked like to be a technical issue there while on track. So fairly fortunate there that he only fell back a few positions and was able to get whatever the issue was sorted out. And Marchie Boy here in sixth, as you can see the driver's already starting to catch up to the driver in 14th place, Noam, due to the fact that he did come into the pits very early on to what looked like fixing some damage, as we didn't see them putting fuel or tires in the car, but definitely heard him working on the car. So really unfortunate there. Hopefully you can settle into this race now and just have a good solid result, as we have Ghost in 7th here, Formula 1 in 8th, got Picteke sitting here in 9th place, Astro now in 10th from 11th. Where's our 11th place driver? There he is, Stangman here in 11th. Very, very bright yellow car there, ladies and gentlemen. And Philly Jet sitting in 12th. Dubs now in 13th position. And oh, Noam is definitely struggling a little bit here early on in this race today. Hopefully he just keeps trying, man. Just keep it going, buddy. Keep going, keep going. Just keep pushing. That's all you can do. So we do have, we're going to get back up to the front of the pack here. And where are we? 10 laps into this race now. Average Viper is in the lead by about 1.2 seconds, maybe 2 seconds tops. That gap to Toolshed, who's in, I spun to 11th and fought my way back. Oh, okay, I gotcha. OGR Toolshed here in second place. This was a really fun race. This was a great race. Devin Calypso here in third as well. Walk Motorsports in first place. Now, the drivers have tough decisions to make here during this race, especially early on for the drivers in the front of the pack. How hard do I push? How much of a gap do I want to try and get on the second and third place driver? For the leaders, for the second and third place drivers, very similar things are going through their mind, but how hard do I want to push to try not to lose the driver in first place? With that in mind, that does absolutely going to factor into tire wear and fuel consumption as well, depending on how hard these drivers are pushing. As we can see, Marchie Boy taking a really wide line through Paddock Hill Bend, and Ghost coming in really tight and getting an extremely good run out of Paddock Hill Bend and just flies past Marchie Boy there. I'm not sure if Marchie Boy just slowed down a little bit there, or if Ghost just got a really great run out of Paddock Hill Bend there. But nonetheless, Ghost now moving up into 6th place on Marchie Boy. So Ghost doing a really good job coming all the way back from 14th position so far in the race, back up into where he was sitting on the grid today. So looking very strong. But with that being said, that means he's certainly pushing. And hopefully he's watching his fuel and tire conservation, because I could definitely factor into this first half of the race before the pit window opens at the 40 minutes into the race mark. So we have Stangman here in 11th, Philly Jet in 12th. We are going to go around and do a little juicy look at the liveries as soon as we know that there's nothing really happening on track at that exact moment, as we have Average Viper here trying to start. He's actually on a purple sector here right now, as you can see. we'll stick with him here for a second, see if he knocks down the fastest lap here this lap. I'm not 100% sure when the Div 3 broadcast will be yet, ladies and gentlemen. For the Div 3 drivers, we'll have to, we'll sort that out for everyone. So, Toolshed in second place, he's not losing any time on Viper, but it doesn't look like Viper's really gaining any time on him either. We can check the live timing here in a few minutes just to kind of see where the gap between the drivers are. As we have Calypso here in third place. And then we've got Motorsports in fourth here. We have Spider Team 1 in fifth. Now starting to close that gap back up on Motorsports here. So we'll have to keep our eyes on these two drivers at the moment, as it seems that this is the closest battle on track at this moment. As we see Ghost here, goes quite a ways away behind Spider Team 1 and Walk Motorsports at this point in time. So just kind of see how these guys are progressing. Looking like it's about a 10 to 12 second gap there, as Marky Boy is just trying to keep Ghost Terror from getting too far out of sight here at this point in time. And really good line by both those drivers going through Paddock Hill Bend there. You do absolutely the ideal line there, as you can see from all the drivers here, as we just see Pancake also going through no, that's not Paddock. Is that Paddock? Yeah, Paddock Hill Bend there. Just taking a little bit of that grass on the very inside curb there. And there are some points in Brands Hatch here where it is okay to take a little bit of grass and it shouldn't hurt you too much or affect you too much, and that is absolutely one of the spots on the racetrack there. Ideal line going through Paddock Hill Bend is to swoop wide, cut that curb a little bit, get those right tires just dipping in on the grass, and then you can just really sweep down back across the racetrack, coming down the latter half of Paddock Hill Bend, and just maintain your speed going into the turn 2 hairpins. So really good line by those last three drivers we saw go through Paddock Hill Bend there, as we have Picteca now here coming up to Xerxes in 9th place, looking very solid right now as well. We have Philly Jet here in 10th. A little bit of gap between him and Picteca up in 9th place at the moment. Probably about a 10-second gap there. We have Formula One, Stangman, and Dubs all relatively close to each other here. We'll have to keep our eyes on that little battle as it progresses. It looks like Stangman has caught some slipstream there, so we're just going to go check on our leaders here, as Viper looks like he has slightly gained a little bit more of a gap on Toolshed at the moment here. So the drivers are looking like they're just settling into their rhythm here. They're just putting down their laps now. They're not pushing the issue too much, but also trying not to lose the guy in front. So as usually how these races go, they settle in. They start to settle in for a while, and you don't see too many of the drivers really forcing the issue. The drivers are just worrying about their tires. They're worrying about their fuel, thinking about the strategy for the last half of the race, as we can see a little bit of a tighter line from Toolshed behind Viper coming through those corners there. Very tricky corners too. They look very simple, but not simple at all. They're high speed, and if you miss the apex of those corners, you are absolutely risking going out into the grass there and potentially spinning your car out. So just going to take a look at some of these liveries as the drivers go by here now. Some very simple liveries here on track today, as we see average Viper here. Just going to try and allocate all the racing team names here for you guys as well with this. So just give me 1 second here to get my notes in front of me. Alright, so average Viper is driving with High Pre-Concert Mood, which is also a teammate Picteca here on track. So we do have a couple of drivers from Picteca here driving for High Pre. So Viper being one of those drivers. And then we have Toolshed here, who is driving on behalf of OGR Racing, ladies and gentlemen. And then we have Calypso here as well. And Devin is driving for ICER, which is Intercontinental Esports Racing Group at the moment. So a big shout out to the ICER boys there from your boy Ghost. I hang out with those guys. They're a really good group of dudes over there. Then we have Spider Team here as well. He's with RWB Racing. And a little bit about Spider Team here. He's been with RWB Racing since RWB's Racing's inception. And so he's been a very long-standing member with the RWB Racing Team, I believe, since... I can't even remember how long. I'll check that. I'll check on that for you guys and get back to you guys on that. I think 2019, I want to say. It doesn't seem right, though. I think it's longer. And then we have Walk Motorsports here. Motorsports is independent driver here, it says today. So, got a couple of independent drivers here on track. We have Ghost 45 here, who is racing with Rockefeller Racing, representing Rockefeller Racing here in the GTC4 division. Rockefeller Racing also has drivers in a couple of the other divisions in the series here as well. We have Marchie Boy here as well. I believe Marchie Boy, yes, Marchie Boy is driving for ICER, as you can see on his name there. Just want to verify to make sure that we're getting the information correct to you guys. We have Astro Pancake, and Astro Pancake is here as an independent driver. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Picteca driving for Hypre. And GT Formula 1 here, he is driving for, ladies and gentlemen, Expendables Sim Racing. And his teammate not making the race in this round, unfortunately, PPR Skunk. So we are missing a couple of our drivers here in the division in this particular race. We have Philly Jet here, who is also an independent racer. We have Stangman here. He is also an independent racer. Dubs coming in racing for Angel Wings. And Angel Wings is a military foundation that works with veterans, etc., wounded soldiers, and everything kind of in between. So we love to see that. We love to see our drivers supporting our soldiers. And Noam here also coming in as independent racer. So that's kind of, whoa, we missed something juicy here as Toolshed's gotten past. We're going to backtrack. Oh, it did happen quite some time ago. Alright. So Toolshed now in the lead of the race here as Average Viper, I'm assuming, has had an incident on track. And lost to position 2 Toolshed. So a little bit of an interesting development there. Brands Haps is very, very easy to make a mistake on. Like I said, if you don't if you don't get the corners on this racetrack just right, then the racetrack will absolutely make you pay. So we're just going to get back to Spider Team with RWB Racing here. Since its formation as American branch of MRC, yes, June of 2019. And Spider Team 1's been racing Gran Turismo since Gran Turismo 1 back in 1997. So just a little bit of a fun fact about driver Spider Team 1. As we have him here in the shot, and an absolutely gorgeous livery there. That is a very, very sharp livery. And we have Walk Motorsports here, still sitting very comfortably in 5th place. Looking like he's maybe starting to lose Spider Team there, as you can just see Spider Team off in the distance. Ooh, a little bit of glitch there, so hopefully everything's okay. And very nice looking livery here as well from Walk Motorsports. We have our Ghost 45 here as well, with that Rockefeller Racing livery on the car there. That is a pretty fancy looking livery right there, I guess. It is very splashy, very splashy. We have Marchie Boy sitting here in 7th. Looks like he's starting to gain back on Ghost 45 here right now. So Marchie Boy definitely picking up the pace a little bit. Doesn't want to let Ghost get too far away here is what this is looking like. And Marchie Boy with with that nice simple livery there as well. We have 3 cars on track with that livery. We have Astro Pancake here with a very, very, very simple, clean silver livery here with some orange accenting on it. Looks very good. We have Picteca here as well. We'll wait for the camera to give us a better shot on that livery for him as well. So driving for High Pre, ladies and gentlemen, again. And High Pre is behind all these graphics we do see on these GT broadcasts. So big shout out to Picteca for all the work he's doing. And look forward to seeing the rest of the graphics as we progress throughout the year. So Philly Jet sitting here in 11th as well. It looks like we have 4 cars on track with similar liveries here in GTC4 today, as he's in a Red Bull livery here. Ooh, a little bit loose there coming down the corner. A little bit of overspeed coming down, and a little bit of understeer coming out of the corner. If you get on the throttle too quickly in these front wheel drives, it will create some oversteer, and that will absolutely try to pull your car wide in a sense. So we have Stangman here in that absolutely bright yellow livery there. Pro Mark, was that Pro Mark T? I think that said there. And then Dubs here as well with his pink livery again. I believe we have a little bit of information here from Dubs as well. A little bit of fun facts from Dubs. Dubs is a 42-year-old young man. He has 4 boys, 23, 21, 18, and 12. The 3 older kids no longer in the house. 12-year-old still is at home. They're a religious family. They love God. He is a he's on full disability, Dubs. He races on controller. He head stewards a F1 league here on GTS Sport as well. He's been married for 15 years now. And a little bit about his sponsor, as I mentioned earlier. His sponsor is Angel Wings. And his grandfather passed and was in the Navy, and he was at Pearl Harbor the day of the attack. So Angel's Wing is for all fallen, paralyzed, or otherwise U.S. military. So it's very similar to what Wounded Warriors Project does. So it's fantastic to see these organizations out there for our soldiers, for our heroes of our day and age, essentially. So really nice backstory there by from Dubs and Noam here in 14th, in a very simple white livery here as well. So we're 30 minutes into this race. We are 10 minutes away from the pit window here, ladies and gentlemen. So we will let Toolshed come all the way around here on his on his lap, and then we will take an onboard shot with our leader as they do a lap around Brands Hatch. And this is an absolutely iconic racetrack, ladies and gentlemen. Just gonna flip through the field here, see if we got any battles developing. It looks, is Ghost catching? Yes, Ghost is catching motorsports here. Alright. So we have Formula 1 in 9th, Picteca now in 10th, so those two have swapped positions. We have Philly Jet here in 11th, Stangman still holding 12th, we have Dubs now in 13th, and Noab in 14th position as we see the 4th place driver, Spider Team, just coming up on the back of him here. So as he goes wide, coming out of that corner. Ooh, stay out of the wall, keep it out of the wall. Wee. Really great job by Noam right there to keep that car out of the wall, keep it out of the way of the lead traffic coming up on him. A really good job by Noam there to stay out of everybody's way on that. What was a very, very crazy spin there. So we're just going to jump on board with our leader, and we're going to go in the OP view here of the cockpit, and I'm going to shut up for a second and let you guys enjoy an absolute beautiful lap here on Brands Hatch. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. There is a flying lap in the OP view, I like to call it, the cockpit view here on Gran Turismo Sport. And absolutely beautiful lap there by Toolshed. That was a very subtle lap. It was just a 132. Now the drivers are definitely more than capable to do 129s, and the really fast drivers are definitely able to do some high 128s here on Brands Hatch in these Group 4 cars. So a little bit slower at the pace, but again, like I was saying earlier, you guys and gals out there, these guys do have to worry about tire conservation and fuel. So with that being said, actually, we're going to bring a couple things up before the pit window comes to play here. So these are some of the rules from the series. It is a reverse grid order based on the fastest lap from the previous race. So what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're going to do is we're going to track each driver's fastest lap during the entirety of the race. And whichever driver posts the fastest lap in this race out of all the drivers will actually start in the back of the pack in the next race. And so on and so forth, all the way down to the driver who put the slowest lap for the race down. That driver will in turn actually start on the pole position in the next race. So at Spa, whoever puts the fastest lap down on track today will start in the back of the pack. So it's a fun little thing here, and definitely adds a little bit to the strategy as the season progresses here. The point distribution has changed slightly, so I don't want to say without unofficially actually knowing exactly what the point system is. I believe first through fifth get a few more points than sixth down through the rest of the field. Official results are always posted on GTChampions.com website and the Discord within 48 hours of the races. That allows time for incidents to be filed for reporting and the stewards to take a look at the race and just make sure everything is on the up and up, assess penalties, and set the official results. And drivers, as you see, we just went over that there. So those are some of the rules of the series. And again, ladies and gentlemen, just to go over everything, we are with the Audi TT GR4 cars on Brands Hatch here. The drivers do need to use soft and medium tires in this race. It's at 2 times tire wear and 2 times fuel consumption. And the pit window is from 50 minutes remaining to 40 minutes remaining here in the race. So just a little reminder. And with that being said, we are going to drop our beautiful little banner at the bottom here and allow you guys to see the tire wear and the fuel that these drivers have as we start to near the pit window here. So we're just going to go through the field one by one here. As I see Ghost has managed to get around Motorsports in the position lineup on the left-hand side of the screen there. Unfortunately, we missed that pass due to going through everything else. Car audio is quiet. We can fix that, I think. Alright, hopefully that's better for you guys. Thank you for that. Alright, so tool shed on the racing medium tires, and looking really good on fuel here. Almost a third of a tank of gas, a little over a third of a tank of fuel here, with about 4 minutes or so till the pit window does open officially here for round 1 at Brands Hatch. So Toolshed has done a really good job at managing the tires and fuel and holding the race lead. So we're going to move over to Viper here. We're going to take a look, also starting on the medium tires. His medium tires, not so nice. His medium tires are starting to look a little secondhand, and just a smidge less fuel than the driver in front Toolshed. So doing a really good job on saving his fuel. His tires not quite as good as the leader, as we have a nice little battle developing right here for 3rd and 4th. So we'll stick with this while we're taking a look at tires. And Devin Calypso's tires also on the mediums with just a hair over a quarter tank of fuel left. And then Spider Team's tires in much better shape behind him there, and he has quite a bit more fuel. So I would suspect that Spider Team's going to push the issue here before the pit window so we can try and get ahead of Calypso going into pit lane. So ideally he comes out ahead of pit lane as we have Stangman going off the track just in front of these two drivers here. Looks like he got himself into the wall there. So going to be some damage most likely from that. The damage is heavy damage here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a look at Ghost Car here now. Ghost Tire is looking really, really good. And as we know, ladies and gentlemen, he was at the back of the pack, so we know he's been pushing. He's actually done a really good job at managing those tires, and a really good job at managing the fuel, and making a lot of progress. And as we see, he has some front aero damage there as well. So he was involved in an incident in the first lap of the race. He got into another driver, which caused that damage. So he has been now driving with 40 minutes with that damage on his car. We go down to Marchie Boy here. His tire's looking fantastic as well, and he's doing really well on his fuel as well. So good job by Marchie Boy there as well. We have Astro Pancake here also. Looking like all the drivers are on the medium tires here today. So Pancake starting on the mediums. His tire's looking pretty good, just a little less better condition than the driver in front of him there, and about a quarter tank of fuel as well. We move back into Motorsports here, who has rear aero and rear right suspension damage, and tires looking really good and fuel looking really good, but that suspension damage is probably starting to make this car a little bit of a handful to drive, so he's probably pretty happy to see that the pit window is coming very near here. And we have Formula One as well struggling here with front aero and front and left suspension damage as well. So his tire's not quite looking as good as some of the drivers in front of him, but his fuel situation is in really good shape. We have Philly Jet also on the medium tire. It's starting to look second-hand as we have a nice little mini battle going between the 10th and 11th place driver as the leaders coming up on these drivers. So let's see how all these drivers handle this. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it is the responsibility of the slower cars to get out of the way of the lead lap traffic. So these cars will not ghost. These drivers do have to play nice, and they have to work together to get around each other here. So, Picteka going really wide there. Oh, he manages to keep it together. He gets caught. And Philly Jet going wide. Let's take another look at that. Was there contact there? There might have been a little bit of contact there. I think what had happened there is Philly had broke really early, and I think he caught Toolshed off guard there. And Toolshed just tried to swerve out of the way and just clipped him. So we'll have to see if anything results out of that as far as incident reports go once the race is finished. And we have Dubs here in 13th. Wait, we're looking at tires before everything got all crazy. Picteka's tires also on the mediums, starting to look fairly worn. He's got a little less than a quarter tank of fuel. Philly Jet here, tires just a little worse off than Picteka's tires, a little less fuel and some rear aero damage. Stangman on the medium tire with a quarter tank of fuel and somehow managing to not have any damage after that spin we just seen a few minutes ago. So very fortunate for him. Dubs on the medium tires as well, looking a little worn now, a little less than a quarter tank, and Noah deciding to go on the softs to start this race. And actually, for the soft tires, not looking too bad after a little over 40 minutes of racing. So the pit window is now officially open. So we will start to see drivers coming into the pit lane, and just as I say that, we have Marchie Boy coming into pit lane here. So now coming out on those soft tires and filling up that tank right full. We are just going to jump back up with our leader here. So one out of the 14 drivers has made their pit stop here. So we still have 13 of the competitors that need to do their mandatory tire change. And these, again, ladies and gentlemen, the drivers do have to have their pit stops fully complete before the 39-minute and 59-second left in the race mark. If they do not have their fuel stops and tire changes complete by that time, they will be assessed a penalty for that, and it is quite a stiff penalty for taking tires and fuel outside of the pit window. The penalties are 1 minute for each infraction. So Hopefully these drivers have this in mind as the pit window is open, and they do need to be watching the time on track as they are coming around on their laps here. So Ghost has caught Calypso here in 4th place now, and looks like he's going to get a smidge of a run. No, he just pulls back in behind Calypso here. Ooh, easy. He went into there really deep. He was really hard on the brakes there. He's really working those tires right now, Calypso. And Calypso suffering some pretty severe front end damage here as well. So that is probably the biggest reason why Ghost has caught up to him so quickly. He just has a very large amount of front end damage on that car. And it looks like that car is a lot to handle. These are front-wheel drive cars, ladies and gentlemen, so the last thing you want is front suspension damage on these cars. Your front tires are your drive tires. They're also your brake and grip tires. So the front tires do take a lot of abuse on these Cup cars. And Calypso definitely working really hard to try and keep that car up in the top half of the field here with all that damage. As you can see, Ghost is completely applying a ton of pressure to him right now. And we'll have to see what happens here. Is he go? Oh, Calypso goes a little bit, but just gets into the grass there, and that is enough for Ghost to get around him. Is Ghost going to keep the move stuck now? It does look like the move is going to stick here. So, opportunistic move by Ghost there on Calypso, as Calypso did make a mistake. Ghost just had himself positioned really well. He was close enough to the driver to be able to take advantage of that small mistake. As we see Viper now coming into the pits. And Spider Team also coming into the pits just ahead of him by the looks of it. So both those drivers now coming out, as Viper is coming out just behind Dubs there. So the deal is with Brands Hatch here is the drivers coming out of pit lane, ladies and gentlemen, do have the right to the inside line coming down into Paddock Hill Bend. So as we just saw there, we had 2 drivers come out of the pits with the driver still on track, Dubs. And Dubs did a really good job there. He stuck to the outside line of Paddock Hill Bend as he's seen cars coming out of pit lane. Again, the cars did have the right to the inside line at Paddock Hill Bend when they are coming out of pit lane today, ladies and gentlemen. So really good job by Dubs there to have that race awareness, to see those drivers coming out of pit lane and holding his line on the outside there to allow those drivers to come out of the pits cleanly. So we're just going to kind of cycle through the field relatively quickly here as the pit stops start to cycle through. We are halfway into the pit window here. A lot of these drivers are going to start coming into pit lane now to get their tire change. And 13 of the 14 drivers did start on the medium tires here today. So we will have to see how the soft tire stint goes for these drivers. Everybody is basically on an equal playing field as far as tire advantage goes, except for our 14th place driver here who was on the soft tire to start. Now having to go on his final stint on the medium tire, while the rest of the field is going to be on the faster compound. So it'll be interesting to see how he manages that. So I would assume we are going to start seeing the rest of these drivers coming in. There we go. As you see, Ghost 45 coming into the pits and Astro coming into the pits as well to take their stops. Ghost coming out there. Nobody interfering coming into Paddock Hill Bend. Walk coming around as Astro's coming out. Good job by all the racers here today to give the right of way to the drivers coming out of the pits so far. And Astro coming out for his stop as well. And yes, we do have the banner back up. We do not want you guys to see the fuel and pit strategies just quite yet. We will absolutely let you guys see that as the race comes closer to an end. It's not as important, obviously, for this particular broadcast because this is a replay. The drivers aren't listening or watching the broadcast while they're racing. This is the biggest reason why one of the reasons why the banner is there. But the second reason, obviously, to tell you who we are and how you can find us and where you can go to learn more information about the series. So www.gtchampions.com, everybody, is the website for the GT Champions World Cup here. And everything you need to know is on the website, and including registration for the GT Champions World Cup series events. So If you are interested in participating in the World Cup, www.gtchampions.com, ladies and gentlemen, that is where you will find all the information. And I do believe that the Discord for GT Champions is also on that banner. And everyone is welcome to join that as well. And there's a lot of information as well in the Discord for GT Champions as well. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is presented to us by Detailing Group. The main sponsor for these GT Champion World Cup events is Detailing Group, DG. You can find them at www.detailinggroup.com. And the rest of the sponsors as well as Metropolis, www.metropolis.com. We have Picteca as well at www.highpre.com. And Pride of the Dragon, and that is www.prideofthedragon.com. And that is an event that the amazing Tatiana, our Division 2 broadcaster, hosts every year, and she is absolutely 100% behind that event. And it's a really, really great event, ladies and gentlemen. And we will talk about that a little bit more once we get through the pit window here. So Go's coming back out in 6th, but not quite every driver, as we now see Picteca coming in for his pit stop. And he's on 4% fuel, so he definitely had no choice to stop. But I mean, we are very, very close on the timer right now. And these guys are running out of time to get in and out of the pit lane here. So we're down to a minute remaining on the pit window as we see Philly and Dubs now coming in. These guys are definitely absolutely starting to cut these pit windows close now. It takes, for a full tank of fuel and tire changes, roughly about 46 to 47 seconds. So these guys absolutely cutting it super, super close as we have Dubs here now coming out of pit lane. And these drivers have to keep it in between these white lines as well. So we're also kind of watching for that as the pit stops progress. So has every driver now made their stops? Appears to be that way. However, we have Toolshed coming back into pit lane. What is happening here? He is right on top of the pit window. He has 3 seconds to get out of pit lane here, ladies and gentlemen. What has happened? Oh no, Toolshed has made some kind of miscalculation or some kind of error, as we can see the pit crew fueling the car up there. So he is 100% getting out of pit lane outside of the pit window at this point here, and that is really, really, really unfortunate for Toolshed, as he is 100% going to be penalized for that, as the drivers did have to be out of pit lane with their tires and fuel done by the 50-minute into the race mark. As we can see there, he came out 16 seconds after that window had closed. That is really, really unfortunate. Looking like maybe he accidentally hit a button while taking his pit stop and just hit the stop refueling button, or no refuel perhaps, and just had no choice. He had to come back in. Really, really unfortunate there for Toolshed. So we'll have to see where he finishes here in the race, as the penalties, fairly large penalties. So really unfortunate. We don't like to see that. Mistakes suck. We really don't like to see mistakes like that. I mean, we're only human, we make mistakes. But really unfortunate there for Toolshed. So we have Viper, as all the pit stops have now gone through. We have our race positions back in order here. So we do have Viper, average Viper, in the lead, with Spider Team not far behind here. Maybe 1.5, 1.6 seconds at this moment in the race. Then we have Toolshed in 3rd place there. Really, really unfortunate error there for Toolshed. Marchy Boy here in 4th place, with Ghost45 hot on his tail at the moment. We have Astro Pancake here in 6th. Calypso in 7th. So the damage he had on his car definitely hurt him as far as his pit stop went, losing a couple of positions there. Motorsport in 8th place here. Formula One in 9th, gaining a position after the round of pit stops. Picteca in 10th. Philly Jet maintaining 11th place, with Stangman also maintaining 12th position, Dubs maintaining 13th, and Noam in 14th after this round of pit stops. So I'm just going to shut my audio off here for a second because I feel a big juicy sneeze coming on. Just bear with me. Whew. Caught that just in time. Excellent. Alright, so the Pride of the Dragon is an event that I believe Tatiana heads or organizes. And it's an event where they go to a location and they hang out and they race cars and they go out for dinners or breakfasts. And it's just like a car enthusiast event. But I haven't gone to the website myself to really get the full details on it. It's just kind of what I caught from the Division 2 broadcast when I watched the Division 2 broadcast this weekend. So if you absolutely want to learn more, definitely go check it out at www.prideofthedragon.com, ladies and gentlemen. And it is a really cool event. It sounds amazing. I just didn't have a chance to really go get the full details on it. But it's an event for car lovers, car enthusiasts. And they just go out for a few days and they just really have a really great time. So we have Average Viper and Spider Team here in first and second, as Spider Team is on a purple sector there. So we're just going to stick with Spider here for the next sector to see if he's still on that purple sector, which means he is on the fastest lap of the race at the moment. So we're just going to stick with him as he comes through the second sector here. And that timer is going to be coming up here shortly. So, no, now he's just on the PB here. Ooh, and Viper getting a little bit wide going around the corner there. So, I believe this is Clark's Bend, this corner. If my memory serves me correct, I believe this is Clark's Bend. The final corner here at Brands Hatch. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen. But, we are now coming up to Paddock Hill Bend as Spider Team does get the fastest lap right there, a 1:30.402, I believe 4:32 that says. So Spider Team getting the fastest lap of the race right there, and 100% gaining a ton of time on Average, as he's purple again in the first sector here. Now trying to chase Average Viper down, so we're just going to rip through the field here really quick. As we now see Ghost in fourth place here, as he's gotten around Marchie Boy. How long ago was that move? Alright, it was quite a ways ago, so we're just going to stick with the race here. And Marchie Boy is not giving that up easily. It looks like he is fighting back to try and get that position back from Ghost 45 there, as we have Devin and Astro now starting to get really close together here as well. We have Walk Motorsports starting to catch up on Dubs. And again, ladies and gentlemen, it is up to these drivers to move out of the way of the lead lap traffic when it's safe to do so, and Dubs does exactly that. He just moves off the racing line, slows down enough to get by and back on his race. So really good job by Dubs here. Dubs has done a really good job to understand the rules here at the World Cup Series, and has 100% been showing it here today on track. So really good job by all the drivers. As far as the understanding of the rules goes, we're not sure what happened in the tool shed there, but a miscalculation of some form or something happened there, which is really unfortunate. It does happen. This is a video game, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes we get a little button pressing happy as race car drivers here on GT Sport, and we hit wrong buttons sometimes, and then those do cost us when we make those mistakes, whether it just be positioning or whether it be a penalty, depending on your situation that you make that mistake in. So we're going to get back on the leaders here, as we do have Spider and Viper starting to battle for the lead of the race here. We have roughly 33 minutes remaining. So still a decent amount of race left here yet, ladies and gentlemen. There is time for these drivers to make spots up for sure, but at the same time, not that much time. So Spider Team is absolutely starting to look like he's getting a little bit antsy behind Average Viper here. As you can see, I'm kind of looking inside here and there and deciding whether or not he's close enough, or is Viper going to make a little bit of a mistake coming around this corner and just holding the inside line just in case that happens so he can get that quick move. Hard to say, or he could just be trying to get a little bit of clean air before coming into the cornering as well. We were talking about that a little earlier in the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. These drivers, when they're following this close behind each other like that, the car behind the car in front gets what we like to, and a good job by Noam there to get out of the way of the lead traffic, the lead cars there as well. All these drivers doing a fantastic job in this race today to make sure that we're not that they're not causing incidents with the drivers on the lead lap here. So but we were talking about dirty air. When these drivers are sitting that real tight to close together, we'll see if we can find a couple cars that are really tucked up on each other here. Not really. Maybe we'll wait for a moment and we can explain that to you better. By the looks of it, it's going to be this battle right here for first place. We're going to see eventually here, Spider's going to get red just like that. He got a really good run on the Cersei's there on Viper. So this is what I'm talking about right here. Now you can see Spider Team is getting fairly close to the back bumper on Viper. And what that does is it takes the clean air away from the driver in behind the driver in front. And that actually changes the way the car acts going into corners. So it's going to change the braking a little bit, and it's also going to change the way the car turns into a corner when they're caught in dirty air like that. So sometimes when you're watching these races like this, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see drivers weaving back and forth left and right behind the driver that they're chasing. And that's not necessarily looking to make the pass, but to get a little bit of clean air into the front end of the car right before they go into a braking point. And then what that does is it allows the car to get the grip it's looking for at its normal braking point. If you're just tucked really tight in behind the car in front going into a corner like that, you do need to brake a little bit earlier, and you need to turn just a little bit earlier to make sure that you hold your normal racing line that you're used to. If you don't do those two things, there is a chance that you are going to go wide into the corner, or the slipstream from the driver in front is actually going to pull you right into their car and you're going to cause an incident on track. So as race car drivers here on Gran Turismo Sport, the physics are real, ladies and gentlemen. And drafting is a thing, slipstream is a thing, dirty air is a thing. Getting wide on these racetracks, going into what we like to call as racers the marbles, is a real thing. In some of these corners, Cersei's is actually a really good example. The corner we just seen the first and second place driver come through there. If you get too wide into that corner, you get into those marbles. And basically what we mean by marbles, ladies and gentlemen, is it's rubber coming off the tires from these racers going around the corner. Little bits and pieces of rubber flies off the tires of these cars as they go around the racetrack. And that rubber collects on the outside of the corners, along with a little bit of dust, dirt, grass, whatever else is going on the particular racetrack that these drivers are racing on. So when they get into that loose rubber and dirt, it actually takes a little bit of grip away from your car, and it will cause you sometimes to spin or go off track. So when we say as commentators or race car drivers, oh, I'm into the marbles, or he's going into the marbles, that's exactly what we're talking about. And they've just gotten into a part of the racetrack that's not what we call, as a racing term, the groove. And what the groove means, ladies and gentlemen, and if we can get a good camera shot on the track here, you'll see like you do on the highway at home where you drive every day, or on your roads every day. You see those really dark tire marks that are really worn into the road. Well, you see the same thing on racetracks, ladies and gentlemen. And what that is that's considered as a groove, or the racing line, I guess. And that is where the race car drivers are going to get their maximum amount of grip on these racetracks, is in that what we like to call the groove. And that's just a really smoothened out part of the racetrack where there's a lot of rubber put down, and that rubber in combination with the car's tires really allows for good traction into the corners. So you'll see a lot of these drivers following the exact same line, the exact same angle into the corners all the time, because that's what we consider the groove. In oval track racing, the groove kind of means a lot more necessarily than circuit car driving, because usually the groove on circuit racing is kind of like a one-car groove, right? Like that's the optimal line around the racetrack. That's where you want to be to really put down the best times, to get the best traction, get the best corners. In an oval track, say like NASCAR racing, you'll have 2 or 3 grooves on a racetrack where cars can run at the same speed 2 or 3 wide. In circuit racing, you can't really do that. There's kind of only one really defined sweet spot on the racetrack, and then the rest comes really down to driver skill. So Toolshed's still doing a really good job here in 3rd place. He hasn't lost any ground on the 1st or 2nd place driver, but he doesn't really seem like he's gained any either. So we have Ghost sitting here in 4th place, just coming across the start-finish line there. So a little ways behind the top 3 drivers there. It'd be interesting to see if Ghost is going to just settle for the position he's in here, or if he's going to try and push for a podium position, as he has had a really good drive today, just based off the fact that he went down to the back of the pack really early on in the race here. So some of these drivers coming from quite a ways back in the field to get into a really good placement today. So a really great job by all these race car drivers as they continue on in this 90-minute endurance race, ladies and gentlemen. Devin sitting here in 6th place. We got Astro in 7th. Motorsports here in 8th place. Formula One, who is new to the series this season, in 9th. We have Picteca, who's also new to racing in the series as well, in 10th. Stangman, Dubs, and Philly Jet. As we have Dubs and Stangman fighting for 12th place. Dubs getting the inside line coming down Paddock Hill Bend there. Almost had to move, stuck. Little bit of oversteer coming out of the corner there. And, whoa, Stangman really wide coming around the hairpin there. These two drivers doing a fantastic job not getting into each other there, as Stangman did lose the back end of his car just the slightest bit there, but did a really good job to gather it back up. Dubs did a good job to just hold his line there, and both cars getting through there without incident. So really good job by both those drivers there. No matter where you are in the pack, in these World Cup events, ladies and gentlemen, the drivers are absolutely 100% class act and as respectful as they can be towards each other. Now, on the track, we are 100% competitors. We are fighting for position. We're fighting for a championship. We're fighting for position in the standings. But off the track, ladies and gentlemen, we're family. We help each other out. We chit-chat, we poke at each other, we have a lot of fun, we practice together. A lot of these guys practice together. And so it is a community, so there is absolutely 100% a lot of respect from one driver to the next in these World Cup seasons, no matter what division it is you're in. Yes, you guys, we do see contact from time to time from the drivers. It happens, it's racing. You're gonna see contact from one driver to the next. And Ghost Terror coming down the straightaway as you... I want to say, I don't want to say. I don't think it's right for the corner of the name, so we're just not going to say it. But let's just pause this for a moment. Let's take a look at the live timing here, as we have 25 minutes remaining. So Spider Team. Oh, Spider Team, yeah, we did see that. Now in the lead, and Viper 2 seconds behind Spider Team. Toolshed is now 2 seconds behind Viper. We have Ghost 16 seconds behind Toolshed. So a lot of distance between the top 3 drivers and the next 4th and 5th place driver. As you can see, Marchie Boy is only 3.7 seconds behind Ghost at this exact moment in the race. Calypso being 14 seconds behind those two drivers. Pancake 15 seconds. You can see these drivers are really starting to space out here as we get through the mid-pack. Motorsports only 2 seconds off Astro there. Formula One's only 3 seconds off Motorsports. So we do have a nice little 3-way group right here that might start to develop as the race progresses. Picteca is a little over a minute behind at this point in the race. Stangman is 21 seconds behind him. Dubs just a second behind Stangman, as we've just seen those two having a nice little battle a few seconds ago. And 2 seconds behind is Philly Jet. I'm not sure why there's not a live timing there. But that is kind of where we're sitting on track right now, ladies and gentlemen, as far as gaps goes for each of the drivers. As we see Ghost coming around here to, oh man, I am very upset I don't remember my corners today. This is actually one of the track I know some of the corner names on. So disappointed in myself. As we have Marchie Boy here in 5th place, we have Calypso sitting in 6th, Astro in 7th, and we can see Motorsport just off in the distance behind him there. So we'll have to keep our eyes on 7th and 8th place as the race progresses. And Formula One now getting lapped by the lead cars. So we're looking like now only the top 8 drivers on the racetrack are on the lead lap here today. So we are definitely seeing a little bit of a difference in pace from the top half of the field compared to the bottom half of the field here today at Brands Hatch, ladies and gentlemen, as Spider Team is starting to slowly pull away from Average Viper here. And then we have Toolshed now trying to close the gap on Viper. And Ghost 45 here in 4th place. We've got Marchy Boy in 5th. Now, he can still see Ghost, so there's definitely some opportunity there for Marchy Boy to try and pick up 4th place here as we start nearing the end result of our race here today. Calypso here in 6th place as well. Kind of in no man's land at the moment, and Astro Motorsport is absolutely gaining on Astro right now. He has probably closed that gap up by half since the, minute ago that we took a look at the timing there. We have Juan in 9th. We have Picteca having a little bit of an incident there. I think that's Harrington? Wellington? Harrington? Driving me nuts, chat. In 10th there, losing, staying out of the way of the 7th and 8th place driver, Astro and Motorsports, who I believe are the final drivers on the lead lap. The rest of these drivers from 9th on through the back of the field are now at least a lap down. As Dubs has gotten around Stangman here, so let's see if we can find where this pass went down. Maybe not. Maybe he was fighting for... Okay, he was fighting for position with Philly, so we definitely missed it. But Philly is right back on top of Dubs here, as he gives him a little flash of the headlights there. I'm not sure if that was to say just keep going or let me by. Maybe a sign of, hey, that was a good battle, let's keep going. But Philly is being relentless right now. He is, a little bit of contact as Dubs got a little bit wide there. That's to be expected as he tried to come on track. A little bit less traction on the tires. No major harm or foul there. It's just a racing incident in that situation as Dubs just caught the edge of the grass there. And Philly just capitalized on the mistake there, getting by Dubs. So, a good little battle there for 12th position here today in the GTC4 race. And Toolshed is absolutely starting to gain some serious ground on Average Viper here in 2nd place. So, woo! Ghost going wide off the track. Is he going to keep it together? We're coming around the corner. Can he hold the corner? Ooh, look at the dirt on those tires. Those tires were brown, ladies and gentlemen. Woo, he did a good job to keep the car together there as Marchy Boy is not that far behind and was probably really hoping to see that mistake there. Gained that position easily, but Ghost just managed to keep it together there. Marchy Boy is continuing to march to catch up to Ghost in 4th place there. Whew. Wow, that was close, chat. That was close, ladies and gentlemen. He almost lost that car there. Now, these Group 4 cars are a little bit slower than Group 3 cars, and these are the front-wheel drive cars, so these drivers can get on the throttle when they get off into the grass here, and these cars will actually just throttle through being off the track and get back on track, usually without spinning. If these were front-rear drive cars and you tried to do that here in the grass at Brands Hatch, you will be most certainly spinning your car around here. So these front-wheel drives do have a small advantage in that sense here at Brands Hatch, at the fact that they are able to power out of making a mistake, so to speak. So if you do get a little bit wide off the track here at Brands Hatch in these front wheel drive cars, you do have the opportunity to get on the gas and just drive kind of right through the situation. So that is one advantage to having this particular car track combo here today at Brands Hatch. As we see Spider Team now coming up on our 14th place driver, and Noam doing a very good job of just moving over to the side there, letting Spider Team get around and continue on racing as usual. The Spider Team is really starting to pull away from the field here now. And we have Average Viper here. He looks like he's struggling a little bit. So we're just going to go about another 10 minutes into the race here, ladies and gentlemen. And then we're going to drop that beautiful banner at the bottom of the screen. And let you guys see what these tires and fuel situations are looking like for these drivers. As you can see, Toolshed is now really starting to put some pressure on Average Viper. So we're going to stick with this battle for second place. Whoa! Little bit. I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like Average Viper just caught the edge of the grass a little bit. And, Toolshed really had to make a quick move around Noam there. He was using Noam to get some slipstream there. And kind of forced himself into a uncomfortable position as Noam was just trying to slow down to let these cars go by. So it was a really close call there. Great reaction time by Toolshed there to get around very quickly there, not make any contact, and only lose a couple tenths of a second at the end of the day there to Average Viper as he's trying to chase him down for that second place spot there. So we see Philly coming around Noam there as well. We are sticking with this battle here in second place, ladies and gentlemen. We don't want to miss this. So with a little under 20 minutes left, we do have a good battle for second place developing here. And we're going to stick with it just for a little bit longer here to see if Toolshed can get this done. I know the moment I leave this battle, ladies and gentlemen, we're 100% going to miss something here. So I do see a couple of little battles starting to develop further behind us here on track as well, but we just don't want to miss this. And Average Viper's kind of starting to pull a little bit more time back off of a Toolshed here. Alright, let's flip through really quick. Let's just check to see if there's any more battles going on. Walk going a little wide there. Picteca also going wide. Doesn't look like we have any other battles going on track. So we are going to get right back into the second place battle here. And Average Viper's doing a really good job at holding Toolshed off, as Toolshed was right on the back door of Average Viper there for about a half a lap. So Average Viper has definitely picked his pace up as we see Dubs. I'm not sure if he just moved wide off the track to let these guys go by, or if he just went a little wide and decided just to hang out there for a minute until these two drivers got by. But nonetheless, everybody's around safe and sound. Dubs is back on track. No harm, no foul, no damage to the car. So fantastic stuff by all these drivers here. And it's looking like Toolshed is going to try and make a run here. He does have, he is in the slipstream here, coming into Paddock Hill Bend. So let's see if he is going to make a move here on this lap. Can Toolshed get close enough to Viper here to get this done? Coming around the hairpin, it looks like Toolshed gained maybe half a tenth there. He's definitely gained through that little sweeping bend there. And maybe looking at going inside through Surtees here, sorry. He does take the inside line as Viper gets hung out on the outside there. But Viper is going to have the inside coming into this fast sweeping right-hander at the end of this long straight here. So these two are absolutely 100% side by side. Is Toolshed going to try and hold the outside line on this corner? He decides to play it safe. He tucks back in behind Viper, dives down to the inside line. No, just not. Oh, and Viper, I'm not sure what happened there. Viper either just got a little bit loose going around that corner, and Toolshed got a really good run on him. Oh, and Viper goes off, ladies and gentlemen. Viper misses the braking point. And, Dubs coming around, Philly coming around. Ooh, things got a little bit hairy there. Now, is that going to factor in to the fourth place driver here, ladies and gentlemen, as we can... Ooh, and one! Jeez! Whew! Ghost being really fortunate that one was ghosted right there, or he was going to be T-boning that poor driver sideways on track. But now we see Ghost was gaining there. So we're going to keep our eye on that fourth place. And we see Marchie Boy is still trying to chase Ghost down. So that spin from Viper is now going to bring the fourth and fifth place drivers potentially into the mix for that podium here, ladies and gentlemen. So we are absolutely going to have to keep our eyes on that as the race progresses. Sixth place there. Who's in sixth? Mr. Calypso. So Devin Calypso starting on the pole here today, struggling a little bit early on in the race. He had some pretty severe front end damage in the first half of that race, and now settled back into 6th place here. So we'll have to see if he can gain any more spots here. Astro in 7th. We have Motorsport sitting in 8th place here. And we've got Formula One in 9th, as we just seen, going sideways on the track right in front of the 4th place driver Ghost there. And again, very fortunate for the 4th place driver that he just happened to be ghosted right when Ghost came around the corner there. Picteca sitting here in 10th place, Stagman in 11th, as we see Spider going around him there. Philly in 12th, Dubs in 13th. Now, Philly and Dubs have been swapping spots here for about the last 5 or 6 laps now, so we'll have to try and kind of keep our eyes on that as well as the race comes near an end here. But we don't want to miss what's happening up at the front end of this race either. And Spider Team looking like he's got things pretty well under control at the moment here. So a little under 15 minutes remaining here in this Division 4 race today at Brands Hatch. And Spider Team 1 looking very good to take home a first place finish here in round 1. And Spider Team also new to the series this year. So very good showing from Spider Team and Toolshed at the moment in time here. Also a new driver in the series this season. And Viper as well, a new driver in the series. So 3 new drivers in the series here this season, holding down the top 3 positions at the moment on track here. So really good job by these new drivers. Again, it's just understanding the rules of the series. It's doing some practice, getting familiar with what's going on, and putting in that work. So really good job as we have Ghost here. Actually, we can see he's starting to catch the lap traffic that average Viper has just gotten by. So we can't quite see Ghost in the picture yet. We'll have to keep our eye on that, as it looks like Ghost has kind of lost Marchie Boy a little bit here. So maybe Ghost has been looking up at that live timing going, hey, wait a minute, I'm catching 3rd place here, and has decided to start pushing perhaps. Because Marchie Boy was only about a 1.5 seconds behind Ghost, and there is a very large gap between those 2 drivers now. So Formula 1 sitting here in 9th, Picteca in 10th, as we just seen Spider go around him there. Walk Motorsports just getting around Stangman there as well, sitting in 8th place. And Motorsports being the last car on the lead lap, as we see Ghost just coming around Paddock Hill Bend there, getting around Dubs. Now these 2 drivers are in the same camera shot, so we may have a battle coming up for 3rd place here, potentially near the end of this race. And we are going to drop this banner real soon, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to let you take a look at the tire situations. We're going to let you take a look at the fuel situations for all these drivers. As some of these drivers... Well, let's go take a look. Let's just do this. Let's take a look at these times, okay? So we're looking at Spider's times here. Spider's starting to slowly drop off the pace here. Had a 135, so he must have had a little bit of an incident somewhere on that last lap there. So maybe tire wear starting to come into a factor here a little bit. Toolshed's been running very, very consistent laps here the last 4 or 5 laps, looking very strong. Viper's laps, the last 3 laps have been fairly inconsistent, so maybe struggling a little bit there. And we go down to Ghost here, and his laps have been very consistent the last 9 laps or so here, looking mid 131s to low 132s, so definitely been pushing a little bit here. Marchie Boy been pacing Ghost pretty well here, judging by the times. The times are very close between these 2 drivers, so I'm not sure why Marchie Boy has lost so much time on Ghost there, just based off those times of being so close. Calypso is starting to lose pace a little bit. Pancake is a little bit off the pace of the front guys, as well as Motorsports. A little bit of inconsistencies in the times nearing the back of the pack on these drivers. Maybe struggling with the tire situations a little bit. Fuel situation a little bit. Ooh, no way I'm going off the track there. So, let's drop this banner. Let's get rid of this bad boy, chat. Let's let you guys see the carnage. So we will go through the field here quickly to show you guys tires and fuel, and then we're going to get on with this race. So Spider Team Sauce looking 40%. 40% or so worn on that front left. Starting to get second hand, but looking pretty good for soft tires and a ton of fuel. Spider Team is definitely has no issue here on fuel. We go down the tool shed here, also looking very good on fuel. And his tire is actually looking a little bit better than Spider Team's, but he is driving with some front aero damage there. So not a major factor on these Group 4 Audis, but a little bit of a factor as far as acceleration and braking goes. It does affect that just a little tiny bit. We have average Viper here. His tires are worn. I have almost seen more chewing gum on, more rubber in chewing gum than we are seeing on Viper's front left tire here, ladies and gentlemen. So this is definitely the root cause of the lap time slowing down here. Those tires are just absolutely just in rough shape. As we see Ghost really closing up on him here. Let's go take a look at Ghost tires. Ghost tires looking very similar to the two drivers up front there. And again, he's doing really well on fuel as well. And this is what's kind of starting to look like it's making a difference as we look through the field here. Marchie Boy's tires very similar to Ghost, very similar on fuel as well. Calypso's here, tires a little more worn than the two drivers in front, but sitting on a buttload of fuel. We have Pancake's tires are looking rough. Whew! Them are some poor hurting tires there. Absolutely probably screaming on that poor car right now. And he's looking good on fuel as well. Motorsports tires look fantastic. Out of all the tires we've seen, that is absolutely 100% the best condition. However, Motorsports is extremely low on fuel, ladies and gentlemen. Is he going to make it on fuel, or is he going to have to splash? He might have to splash here, ladies and gentlemen. We have Formula One's tires. He's got all kinds of poor damage on his car. His front tires are absolutely worn out. He is just having a rough drive right now, but tons of fuel. He has got a lot of fuel. Picteka's tires looking about 50% worn. He's fighting damage. Fuel is really good there. Philly Jet's tires looking pretty good, actually. Sitting there in 11th place, really good on fuel. We have Dubs there. Tires are about 50% worn, and he's doing really well on fuel. And we have Stangman there, interesting, on what looks like a fresh set of medium tires. So, somewhere along the way there, we had a pit stop that I missed out of the pit window, so we're going to make note of that. And we're definitely going to have to check that when it comes down to the officiating of the race there. So, back to our leader here with just a little over 6 minutes remaining, chat. It's been an absolutely fantastic race so far. And Spider Team looking like he is absolutely very, very well in control here. As we have Tool Shed sitting very, very comfortably in second place, I would say, at this point in the race. And we have Average Viper trying to hold on for dear life to third place right now from the driver Ghost behind him. Ghost has just been slowly closing in and closing in and closing in on Viper here. We are going to be keeping our eye on that battle as we near the end of this race for sure. We have Marchie Boy sitting here in 5th. No threat of anybody in behind him. We have Calypso in 6th, also in a pretty comfortable spot. And we just see the driver off in behind him here. Who was that? As Motorsport has gone off the track here. I think he's ran out of fuel, ladies and gentlemen. I think Motorsport has ran out of fuel. So stuck on the side of the track there with no fuel left in the car is Walk Motorsports. So making a bit of a error on the calculating of how much fuel he needs coming into the pits. As I'm not sure, Dubs is just letting a faster car go by there. Maybe giving him a little too much grace there. Almost looking like he's going to lose position to the 13th place driver there. So let us go. Oh, wow. Let's take a look at this battle here for third. This Ghost is right on Viper. Oh, and a move. Holy moly, what did we miss? It looks like there was a little bit of contact there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at this again. As Viper's going around, getting a little, just goes a little bit wide, and Ghost just wasn't able to hold his line. Ooh, there was some paint transfer there, chat, for sure. Looking like he helped Viper just a little bit off the tractor, so we'll have to see what happens there as well now. But Ghost getting around Viper there for third place, but a tiny small amount of contact resulting in the pass there as well. So we'll have to see if anything comes out of that as well, moving forward into the officiating part of the race. Really just an unfortunate incident there between the two drivers. It looks like Viper did go a little bit wide there, and Ghost was just on his back bumper following his line, and because Viper went wide, Ghost had no choice but to try to avoid contact there. So a little bit of an incident between our third and fourth place drivers are resulting in a position swap. So we do have Ghost now retaining the third place position. So a really strong drive from our Ghost 45 here today, as having a really bad start to the race, going all the way to the back of the pack, and moving himself into third position as we have just a few minutes left of this race. So let's just keep our eye on this, as Viper is still in the picture there, and Marchie Boy is also in the picture of Viper as well. So we may not be done with this third, fourth, fifth place situation here yet today, ladies and gentlemen. Things could get very interesting nearing the very, very end of the race here. We have Calypso in sixth. He's in very good shape on his own. Pancake, Formula One. No, and Tekka having a little bit of a struggle here with this car, as we've seen his tires were absolutely worn out. Just struggling with that with those worn tires at this point in the race now. Philly here now in 10th. Stangman in 11th. Dubs still holding down 12th place. And Poor Motorsports is just out of fuel. So we have Toolshed Spider Team here in first, now lapping our 7th place drivers. So now only 6 cars on the lead lap, ladies and gentlemen. So the Spider Team is absolutely flying, and we don't even see Toolshed in the picture here. As we look behind him there, just off in the distance, we can see Toolshed there. Is he close enough to make a run for first place with only a couple minutes left? When these drivers come around the start-finish line, this will be potentially the final lap here. Yes, as Spider Team comes around Clark's Bend here, this should be the final lap of the race here. And we didn't see a white flag because we've seen a blue flag on Astro behind Spider Team there. I am fairly certain that this is our final lap, ladies and gentlemen. Based off the time and how long it takes these drivers to get around the track, we should be here on our final lap. So we are absolutely going to quickly cycle through the field here. Spider Team in 1, Toolshed holding down 2nd. We have Ghost now in 3rd. And we have Viper trying to chase him back down to get that spot back. We have Marchie Boy coming through Paddock Hill Bend, gaining on Viper now. We have Devin Calypso in 6th. We have 7 Pancake in 7th. We have Formula One now up in 8th place. And Picteca in 9th. Philly in 10th. We have Dubs in 11th now, getting ahead of Stangman there. So Stangman now in 12th. And Poor Motorsports out of fuel, sitting off track there in 13th place. I know I'm in 14th, so we are going to get with our leader here, as we are now getting very close to finishing our race here today, ladies and gentlemen. So Spider Team looking very good here, looking like he's going to bring this home. We do see Toolshed trying to push here. He is in the picture now. as we are coming around for the final set of corners here today, as Spider Team will come across as our race winner today. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Our race winner is Spider Team 1 Toolshed, coming very close behind in second place there, as we have Ghost 45 now coming around Clark's Bend here, looking to lock down. Oh, and a driver off track right in front of him. Oh, that was really close to having contact right in the final corner of the race there. Oh my goodness, that could have been disastrous. Ghost coming across in third place, as we see Pancake coming across in seventh in front. Marchie Boy coming around in fourth, so he got around Viper as well. And Viper dropping all the way back down into fifth place. Devin now coming around in sixth place here. Ooh, that was a little bit of a crazy ending there for a couple of these drivers coming into the final couple corners of the race here, as Calypso coming across in sixth. Great drive by all these drivers, as we've seen. Seventh, Pancake coming around in seventh. Picteca and Philly Jet are now finished their races as well. I'm just trying to find which driver's coming across first. So Formula One will come across next in eighth place here, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely great stuff by all the competitors here today. We didn't lose any drivers. We didn't have any drivers have any disconnection errors. Dubs coming across in 11th, and Stangman coming across in 12th, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely fantastic stuff there. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to absolutely bring up some final results for you guys. These are unofficial. All right, so the unofficial results of our race here today. It was an absolutely fantastic race for myself in this particular race. Probably the best drive of my life, I think, guys, for sure. So the final results, this is unofficial, ladies and gentlemen. Spider Team in first place, OGR Toolshed in second from Australia there. So we have the United States holding down the podium in first place, Australia taking a second place finish. Ghost in third place, so Canadian driver rounding out the top three spots there on the podium. We had Australian Marchie Boy finishing in a very close fourth place, with Viper just behind him from the United Kingdom, finishing in fifth. We have Calypso from, I want to say that's Germany, but I feel like it's a Belgian flag. Apologize if I get that wrong, guys. Finishing in sixth, Astro Pancake and Formula One in seventh and eighth, both American drivers. Picteca from Mexico in ninth. Philly Jet finishing in, rounding out the top 10. Also an American driver. We have Dubs coming just in behind in 11th. Stangman in 12th. Motorsports in 13th, who we see ran out of fuel with about 2.5 laps remaining, and managed to hold 13th spot down there. And Noab finishing out the field in this particular race there in fourth place. So American, Canadian, Australian, and Canadian finishing out the last four positions today. And only 3 drivers on track today picking up penalties. So a really, really good job by the majority of the field to really keep themselves out of penalty trouble here at Brands Hatch. So absolutely fantastic stuff here, ladies and gentlemen, by all the competitors on track. Just trying to get to the right screen here for you guys. So I just want to take a minute to thank everybody for tuning in today. Thank you for hanging out here at GT Champions during this broadcast. Again, this race was ran this past Saturday due to the fact that the broadcaster is also in the competition, and as we've seen with a third place finish in this particular race. These are unofficial results, ladies and gentlemen. The official results will be actually released just a little bit later today. So it'll be interesting to see. We did see some situations on track, so it'll definitely be interesting to see what happens after the officiating's done, see if anything changes there. But I just want to really say that it was a great job by all the competitors in GTC4 in this race on Saturday. We had some cars going, having single themselves incidents due to making mistakes and stuff like that. But for the most part, we didn't see a lot of car-to-car contact. We didn't see cars taking each other out of the Division 4 race today. So fantastic respect from all 14 of these drivers as they're racing around each other. We did see a little bit of contact throughout the race in a couple situations, as I said. But this is racing. These guys are racing hard again. These guys are racing for a championship, ladies and gentlemen. There are trophies on the line in these seasons, and these guys are going to put it all on the line when they feel they need to. And when you do that, when these drivers push the edge, sometimes you make mistakes, sometimes you make contact. At this point now, we leave it up to the drivers. They have 24 hours to file any incident reports. If they feel like they were in an incident that caused them to lose time, lose a position, that caused them damage, they can go and file these reports. And the stewarding staff there over at GT Champions will go take a look at it and assess, if needed, any disciplinary action to the drivers. The drivers did a really good job at knowing and understanding the rules here in round one. So absolutely fantastic job by all the drivers to really be in touch with what's happening here at GT Champions World Cup. And we still have 9 more races, ladies and gentlemen. So we will be back next week. And the race is going to be in the Group 3 Jaguar at Spa, Circuit to Spa. It is going to be a really fun race, ladies and gentlemen. Spa is an absolutely blazing fast, fun track. And I think those Jaguars are probably actually going to suit that track fairly well. So I think we're going to see a lot of good speed and a lot of good side-by-side racing next weekend. And we just absolutely look forward to seeing everybody there. We don't have driver podiums for you guys this week. We will have some driver podiums for you guys next week. And on behalf of GT Champions, thank you so much for tuning in today. And spread the word, let everybody know about GT Champions, everybody. And a huge shout out to all the sponsors here at GT Champions. Big shout out to the major sponsor here this year, as they were last year as well, to Detailing Group. And you guys can get more information about Detailing Group at www.detailinggroup.com. And then we have other sponsors such as Metropolis, and you can find their website at www.metropolis.com. We have Hypre, www.hypre.com, and we have Pride of the Dragon as well. And you can also find that over at www.prideofthedragon.com, which is fantastic. All these guys have kept the links super easy to remember. Go show all them guys some love. Thank you so much for tuning in here today, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back again the same time next week for the GTC4 Round 2 race at Spa. And absolutely look forward to racing for all you amazing fans out there. And thank you so much for tuning in. I hope everybody has a fantastic day, afternoon, or evening, depending on where it is you are viewing from. And thank you so much for tuning in today. We hope everybody enjoyed the race today, and we look forward to seeing you all back cheering on your favorite drivers this time next week. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, have yourselves a wonderful day. Stay winning. This is Ghost45 signing off for the evening, and we will be back with you to broadcast round 2 at 9 p.m. Eastern Time next Monday. Thank you all so much, and keep on winning, keep on racing. That's what we like here at GT Champions. And this is going to be a great season. You don't want to miss it, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much for tuning in. And we'll see you again next week.